Today's What Sold video is really exciting to me because, first of all, it seemed like it was a pretty good week of sales, but secondly, most of the items that sold this week sold really fast, and that is always our goal as resellers, is to flip things as quickly as possible. So let's talk about what sold and what sold quickly, aka you should be on the lookout for these things. Hi everyone, my name is Becky Park. I am a part-time reseller on a variety of reselling platforms. When I'm not reselling, I'm actually teaching high school choir full-time, and school actually just started up. So I'm feeling a little bit frazzled. I just had my first day of students yesterday with all students. Wednesday was like just freshmen. Yesterday was all students. And thankfully today is Friday, so I get, a weekend to recuperate from the little half week that I had of teaching. But this week of sales that we're going to talk about is about the week, maybe like 2 weeks right before school started. So we're talking about July 31st through August 6th. And one really cool thing that happened during this particular week of sales that I'm going to talk about is my family and I took a really short trip to a little town called Saugatuck, Michigan. It's a nice little beach town, only like 3.5 hours drive away from where I live. So it was a really nice way to just kind of like decompress and spend some more time with my family before we got thrown into just the craziness that our lives become when we are back in school. Because not only are we in school, but the kids have gymnastics. It seems like every single day of the week. They have piano lessons. So there's a lot going on. And so we just wanted to kind of savor what little time we had together. And thankfully, the fact that we went on vacation did not seem to hinder sales. If anything, I had some really great sales. So let's go ahead and talk about those. I was a little apprehensive because on Monday, which was July 31st, sold absolutely nothing. And I was like, well, this week is not off to a great start. But on August 1st, which was Tuesday, this was a monster sales day. So on Poshmark, I sold this pair of Nike Golf Dry Fit Standard Fit lightweight gray golf pants in a size 36 by 30 for men. This sold for $25, and I had recently picked it up at a local consignment store during one of their birthday fill-a-bag sales. I had $4.55 into these pants. That was my average cost of goods that day. So my net profit on those was $13.43. Best of all, those sold within 2 to 3 weeks of being listed. The next thing to sell was this pair of Flying Monkey blue mid-rise skinny jeans in a size 26. This was a little bit longer of a flip. I definitely had to hold on to these for a little bit, relist them once or twice. These sold for $21 on Poshmark. I had $3.92 into those, and that was from a buyout that I did from a reseller. I just bought some of her inventory off of her because she had too much, and so my average cost of goods per sellable item was $3.92. And so my net profit on those jeans was $12.88. And to be honest, I was just thankful that I was able to move them at all, because I don't know about you, I'm just not getting the kind of views or attention on any of my skinny jeans that I used to. They'll still sell because, there are still people who wear skinny jeans, but it's a lot less than it used to be. The next pair of jeans, kind of the same deal. It was this pair of Adriana Goldschmied, the Stilt roll-up low-rise jeans in a women's size 24. They were cuffed on the bottom. These sold for $25. I had $10.05 into them from a local pop-up consignment sale that happens twice a year. I only made $9.95 on those because my cost of goods for them, for that particular day, my average cost of goods was $10.05. Again, I'm just kind of letting skinny jeans go at this point for a lot lower than maybe I would have in the past. And truth be told, $25 for a pair of Adriana Goldschmied jeans is not bad. The next thing to sell was this Torrid green plaid flannel button-up tunic shirt in a size 3X. It was made of 100% rayon, as a lot of Torrid pieces are. This one sold for $20, and I had $3.47 into that from the same consignment store that I talked about, the one that has birthday sales, and that was from a previous sale. So this one I have had for a little bit. I do feel like Torrid tops just don't sell super well for me. I feel like I hold on to them for quite some time. I think that their jeans can do okay, although anecdotally those don't sell very quickly for me either. I think I have the best luck with Torrid dresses. And I also have really good luck with their overalls if I can find them. I don't find them that often, but this I made a net profit of $12.53 on. The next thing to sell was this pair of shoots, Lou, that's Lou, that was the style name, black croc embossed slip-on pointed toe stiletto heels in a women's size 7.5B. I actually made a video not too long ago where I took you with me through the entire reselling process, starting with like, let's go thrifting. I sourced 5 pairs of shoes at that Goodwill trip. So we sourced together, we photographed, we listed, looked up comps, all those things. And as things sold, we even shipped things together. So if you're interested in a reselling guide and watching me go through the process with 5 items from beginning to end, I will link that video right here. And this pair of shoes was featured in that video. I sourced these shoes at the Goodwill during that thrift trip for this video. And so I had $12.99 into them. These did take maybe close to 3 months to sell, which I was not really super upset about given the fact that, they are kind of a nicer shoe. They're definitely very niche in that like people are not wearing these kinds of shoes every day. In fact, if you whittle down the number of people in the world who are willing to even wear shoes with a heel of this height, I mean, you're not looking at a large percentage of the population. So I knew I might have to hold on to them for a little bit, even though I thought they were so beautiful. But they did sell for $42. That was with discounted shipping because I use a service called Poshmark VA that will send out offers for me on Poshmark. And if you sell on Poshmark, you know that you have to attach a shipping discount to any offers that you send out. And so I made a net profit on those shoes of $18.59 once you factor in my cost of goods and shipping discounts and my fees. And then on eBay, man, I just had a monstrous day. So I had just listed a bunch of pretty great shoes on eBay, maybe like within the last week of this week of sales that we're going to be talking about, and a lot of those shoes sold. So the first pair of shoes that we'll talk about is this pair of New Balance Minimus 20 version 7 shoes. They're like training sneakers and they had a Vibram sole in a men's size 13, which is pretty great. It's a little bit bigger of a size. I picked this up at that birthday sale at the local consignment store, and so my average cost of goods for these shoes was $4.55. They sold for my full asking price of $49.99. Now they were promoted, and that's a theme that you're going to see throughout this week of sales, is that a lot of my eBay sales were promoted at 3%, but I made a net profit on those of $34.73, and like I said, I think that they were listed for about a week or two. The next 2 sales that I'm going to talk about are shoe sales, and they came from that same consignment birthday sale, and that's why I know I didn't have them listed for very long. They were probably listed for a week or two. The next sale I think was my best sale. It was this pair of Hoka One Challenger mid Gore-Tex hiking boots in a men's size 15, and they were waterproof. So much going for this particular sale. Hoka One is a great brand. Hokas are super expensive, and they're just a super desirable brand. So, given the fact that they retail for a ton, people are still willing to pay a lot for them resale, because even though they may be paying a lot, it's still nothing compared to how much it would cost to purchase, a pair of shoes by this brand new. And so that is definitely a pro when it comes to this brand. But not only that, these were a pair of men's hiking boots, which tend to be a little bit more expensive than just like sneakers, and they were in a bigger size. They were in a size 15. And finally, they had Gore-Tex technology, which means that they're breathable, they're waterproof, and they kind of have the ability to keep a little bit of stink out of the shoes. If something has Gore-Tex in the shoe, similar to like having a Vibram sole, it just means that automatically they're worth a little bit more money because they're bringing in this third party, product to help enhance the shoe. So these Hoka One hiking boots sold for $130. And I think because they were over $100, they went straight to an eBay authenticator who authenticated them and then sent them on their merry way to the actual buyer. So these were promoted at 3% as well. Like I said, I had $4.55 into them because I got them at that birthday sale at the local consignment store. My net profit on these boots was $102.90. I really was shocked when I was, looking around at this birthday sale. I definitely wasn't like the first person in line for the birthday sale. If I remember correctly, I got there a little bit late. I'd like to, be one of the first people to shop the sale, and I get there early typically, and I'll stand in line online, but I had a prior engagement. And so I think I got there around like 10:30, 10:45. The sale had already been going on for 30 to 45 minutes. And there were just a ton of amazing shoes sitting there waiting for me to find them. And this was one of them. So I don't know. I've said this so many times and I will continue to preach it, but I love shopping at consignment stores for my reselling business. And I know some of you said that you have local consignment stores too, and they do not have these kinds of sales. But I don't think it hurts to ask them, hey, what do you do when it's been like 3 months and an item hasn't sold? What do you do when it's been a year and an item hasn't sold in your consignment store? These stores might just be bringing items to their local thrift stores or even just kind of throwing them away in the landfill. And you might see if there's a way that you can swoop in and purchase these items at a discounted rate before they let go of them. It doesn't hurt to ask, right? So I'm just thankful that my stores do have these really great sales, clearance events at the end of the season to move their inventory out if it hasn't sold yet. And a lot of times you can get such amazing pieces like this pair of Hoka One hiking boots. The next pair of shoes that we'll talk about I also got from that same sale, and it was this pair of Coach Devon, that was the style name, logo tan red canvas lace-up sneakers in a women's size 9M. I feel like I've sold this exact pair of shoes from Coach many times before. They don't ever sell for a ton, but they always sell, and they sell decently quick, which was also the case for this particular pair. They sold for my full asking price of $34.99. It was promoted at 3%, $4.55 into them from the same birthday sale at the same consignment store. My net profit on those was $23.49. I think the quick to selling these Coach Devon sneakers quickly is pricing them correctly. I think I would tend to price them a little too high because I'm like, oh, they're Coach, and it has the logo all over them. Nobody cares. You have to price them correctly and then they'll move. The next thing to sell was this pair of Wrangler rugged wear straight leg medium wash blue jeans in a men's 31 by 34. These felt really good, like they had hardly ever been worn, if ever. I listed those probably for like $20, like $19.99 on eBay, but I sent out an offer to watchers for $17.90. Again, they were promoted at 3%, and someone accepted my offer. I only had $1.50 into them from a garage sale that I went to, I don't know, maybe a little bit earlier in the summer. It took me a little bit of time to get them listed, but once I did, just in a handful of days, they sold for $18. So I made a net profit on those jeans of $12.90. The next thing to sell, I did have listed for a little bit longer. It was this Universal Thread, which is a Target house brand. Pink and white striped open kimono. It was like one size fits most. This I got in an America's Thrift, it was like a micro bale of dresses. This is not a dress, but that's another topic for another time. If you want to check out that unboxing, I will link that video right here. It was not a very good unboxing, but I did sell this for $11. It was promoted at 3%. I made a net profit of $7.50, and it was free. They sent it to me so that I can do an unboxing on my channel. Free is free, I'll take it. If my nose seems redder than usual, and if my voice sounds kind of like scratchier, first of all, it is like 6:50 in the morning. I'm trying to film before school. And secondly, man, my allergies are insane. Let me know if you suffer from seasonal allergies too, but I need to like spray the things in my nose and do my one-a-day inhaler right after this. I didn't think I would need it, but I'm feeling it. All right, so Wednesday, which was August 2nd, I did not have the monster day that I did the day before, but it was okay. The first thing to sell on Poshmark was this pair of BKE Aiden, which was the style name, bootleg, low-rise jeans. They were distressed and they were in a size 26R. I picked these up at the birthday sale at the consignment store, so I had $4.55 into them. I sold them for $25 on Poshmark, and I made a net profit of $15.45. I used to pass up BKE all the time. I didn't think people actually wore, stuff from Buckle, just because it wasn't my personal aesthetic. But BKE can sell pretty fast. It's not going to sell for as much usually as like Miss Me or as, what is it? Big Star, is that what it's called? You know, those kinds of jeans. It's not going to sell for as much as those, but they do sell consistently. People know how they fit in these jeans and they know what styles they like. So if you can get them for cheap, you know, $5 or less, I think that you can sit to make a pretty decent profit. The next thing to sell was an item that I had in my possession for a little bit longer. It was this vintage Radio Shack transistor handheld pocket radio, and it had AM FM capabilities. I've had this in my possession for a while, but I didn't actually get around to listing it till this summer. So technically I'd say this is still a pretty quick flip. And the reason I didn't list it for so long is because I just don't like selling hard goods. I just feel like they take so much longer for me to list because I don't know very much about them. But I got these like over 2 years ago at this point from a local reseller who just wanted to make more time in her life to deal with personal issues. And so I bought her inventory off of her. I had about $1.02 into each item that she sold me. This sold for $15, so I made a net profit after fees and my cost of goods of $10.98. By the way, I had someone randomly leave me a comment in a what sold video, maybe like a few videos ago, and she's like, "That's great, your numbers are great, but like, what about after fees and stuff? Like, you're not telling us about fees and cost of goods." I am. Like in every video for every item, I tell you how much exactly goes into my bank account after fees, after shipping discounts, after cost of goods. So if that hasn't been clear to you in the past, I apologize. But yeah, the numbers that I share with you are exactly how much get put into my bank account. Or in this next instance, how much gets taken out of my bank account. Because in this next sale, I actually lost money. I'm editing right now, but oh my goodness, can we just take a moment to marvel at that most amazing seamless transition? I don't know, I'm pretty proud of myself right now. It was this Fifth Son Star Wars tie-dye graphic t-shirt in a size large. This is one of those instances like, I don't know, a handful of what sold videos ago, I talked about how I just tried dropping the price of a bunch of items in my Poshmark closet on a closet clear out day instead of doing my normal closet clear out routine. And if you want to learn about my normal routine, I will link that video right here. But I tried just dropping prices with the intention of bringing those prices back up after closet clear out was over. However, you know, doing that in bulk using Poshmark's new bulk listing actions, you can drop prices pretty quickly. It's not going to be by exactly the amount that you ask Poshmark to drop prices by because they kind of round everything to the nearest whole dollar. But then raising everything back up, I don't know why Poshmark freaked out when I tried to do it, but it just was so hard to do. And as a result, a lot of items actually didn't end up getting raised back up to their original price, which is why you had situations like this where this shirt, I had dropped the price maybe to like, I don't know, $7 or $8 as part of the closet clear out thing, which, and I'm going to try not to get too deep into this rabbit hole, but it kind of even disqualifies it from being a part of that closet clear out promotion because you can only go as low as $10 for Poshmark to offer discounted shipping to people who are interested in the item. If you drop the price to lower than 10, they don't get discounted shipping on Poshmark's dime. So just something to keep into consideration. But I was, you know, dropping prices in bulk and not really paying attention to the fact that some items were dropping lower than $10. And then furthermore, because the price of this never went back up, it was at like maybe $8. Someone liked the item. Posture VA did what I asked it to do, which is to send an offer with discounted shipping within 5 minutes of someone liking the item. So this person got a $5 offer on this item with discounted shipping, which of course they accepted. That's a great deal. And I had $1.02 into it from the reseller who I purchased, you know, her inventory so she could spend more time with family and whatnot. So I actually lost 99 cents on this sale once you factor in shipping and my cost of goods. So this is clearly an example of how I, as a reseller, make mistakes very often, and sometimes ones that cost me. Thankfully, this one only cost me 99 cents, but, you know, it's just another example of why you have to be really careful, especially if you are doing things in bulk. And then on eBay, I had a quick flip, but not a very good one. So it was this new in the box, the tie bar, that was the brand, 1.5-inch silver tie clip. And I put words like wedding, formal event in the listing title because that's typically when you would use something like this. I don't remember how much I had it listed for, maybe for like $12, but I sent out offers to watchers on this for $9.90. This is another thing that I got from the reseller that I just bought out her inventory so she could have more time to spend on personal issues. So I only had $1.02 into it, and my net profit was $6.52. Again, I got this from her over 2 years ago, but I didn't get around to listing it until the summer. And once I listed it, it sold so fast. It was only listed for less than a week, but I just had no interest in trying to list it because I didn't know much about the item. But I feel like that's kind of the secret to getting things to sell fast is put it off for a long time. Don't list something for forever. And then once you get it listed, it'll sell quickly. Almost as if the universe is trying to tell you, what are you doing? Get your stuff listed and get it listed quickly, and then it'll sell. So thank you, universe. Thank you for the lesson. On Thursday, which was August 3rd, again, I lost money on a sale because of the whole situation I was telling you about where I lowered prices and then couldn't raise prices on everything in bulk on Poshmark. So this was a pair of H&M Divided gray distressed busted knee mid-rise jeans in a women's size 28. They sold for $5 with discounted shipping, and I originally had $1.27 into them from a ThredUp rescue box, so I lost $1.24. The next thing to sell was this new with tags Lulu's black deep V-neck belted waist jumpsuit in a size large. I thought this was gorgeous. However, when I got it home, I noticed that it was heavily flawed. I think that maybe what had happened to it, because it's so long, I think maybe it had been on a rolling rack at one point, and as the rolling rack was pushed around the store, I think that the bottom of this got stuck under the wheels. That's what it looked like. There was just kind of like, not just dirty, like, wheel rolling over cloth residue. It wasn't even just that, but like actual damage done to the fabric, and it looked like it was from something like a wheel running over it. This is something that I got at that same consignment store that I keep talking about in today's What Sold video, but it was from a different sale. This consignment store that I keep talking about actually has 2 locations, and each location does its own birthday sale, and because they're 2 different locations, they have their own birthdays, and so I try to hit up, the birthday sale at both stores each year. But then aside from that, they have other sales as well. Whatever sale this was from, I only had $2.52 into it. It sold for $30 with discounted ship because of Posh VA, and so I made a net profit of $19.46, and that's even with it being flawed, even with me putting the word flawed in caps in the listing title, making sure that I explained what the flaws were in the description, and taking pictures of the flaws. You can sell and make decent money on flawed items. You just have to be super clear about what the flaws are. On eBay, I sold this Bobby Brooks embroidered floral window pane shirt. I put the word cottagecore in the title because it absolutely was, and it was in a women's size large. Bobby Brooks is, I don't even know where it's sold, but it's not, in my book, a desirable brand. It's not one that I'm like on the lookout for, but the style on this was really cute. It's not something that I sourced myself. It's something that I got from a ThredUp rescue box. It was like a mixed bulk rescue box, one of those like 100 or 200 pound boxes, and it's something that I got a long time ago, but I decided to hold on to it instead of donating it because I thought it was really cute. It sold for $15 after like a year of being listed. It was promoted at 3%, and I had $2 into it. That was my average cost of goods from that box, and so my net profit on that was $10.18. To be honest, I thought that this would sell on Depop, and it did get a lot of interest on Depop, but it ended up selling on eBay. And that's why I do cross-list my items to a variety of reselling platforms, because while I can guess where I think something is going to sell, that's not to say that that's where it's going to sell. So that's why I use List Perfectly to get my items on a bunch of different platforms so that I can get as many eyes on each item as possible and enhance my chances of making a sale on that item, especially for something like this. Like I said, it's not like the best brand. It is kind of cute, but I think that means you have to get it in front of as many eyes in order to make the sale. The next day of sales that we'll talk about is Friday, which was August 4th, and this was my best friend's birthday, so Jane, who I know is not watching because reselling content is not her jam,
but happy birthday again to you. But this was a great eBay sales day. Another great pair of shoes that sold was this pair of Echo Groove, that was the style name, Gladiator black leather sandals in a women's size 41. These I sold for my full asking price of $49.99. Again, that was promoted at 3%. If your eBay store has been really slow, maybe try promoting your listings if you haven't already. I started by promoting everything at just 1%. I gradually moved up to 3%, and as you can see, promoted listings really helped me a lot this week. But I had $2 into those shoes. I picked them up earlier this summer at a garage sale for $2, and so my net profit was $39.84. It was a quick flip. It was a great profit. I would love to do that again and again and again. I just don't find stuff like this all the time. The next thing to sell was not quite as exciting, although I think it's a much cuter item. So the next item was this vintage Disney Mickey Mouse Clubhouse long sleeve t-shirt in a size 2T. I call this the Sheldon style, Sheldon from The Big Bang Theory. I feel like in the majority of the episodes, he would wear a long sleeve shirt with a short sleeve shirt over it. And this was basically that style, but it wasn't actually a shirt on top of the other. It was like the short sleeve shirt, and then they just added fabric to make it look like there was a long sleeve underneath. I don't even remember where I got this, but my son actually wore it, and it sold for $10 on eBay. It was promoted at 3%. I made a net profit of $7.18, which isn't a ton, but oh my god, I'm just so excited that this shirt will continue to live on because it was so cute, and I'm glad that there's a little kid out there wearing this now. The next thing to sell, this was exciting. So it was the Star Wars Return of the Jedi Luke Skywalker lightsaber toy. It did not light up, but it was one of those that you do this and then the different, parts of the lightsaber come out. I was taking a walk on Thursday, the little old lady that I am, just in my neighborhood. I was taking a walk and noticed that there was a garage sale happening. It wasn't scheduled to start till 8, but I was there at 7:30. It was already kind of set up. People were sitting outside, so I asked them if I could look at the stuff that they had. And it wasn't a big garage sale. They didn't have a lot of stuff, but they had this table with a bunch of toys that seemed to still be in the box. So I kind of meandered over there. I had my phone with me, and I just started scanning barcodes. And there were some amazing toys with amazing comps. This one, the comps were okay on it, and it didn't look like it was quite brand new. It was in the box, but there was kind of tape around the box, so maybe they kind of just put it back in the box and taped it to, just for presentation's sake. But they had $2 or $3 on this. Oh no, they had $1 on it. So I was like, okay, because comps seemed to be really good. I listed it. I think this one sold overnight. Maybe it took 2 days, and it sold for my full asking price of $29.99. And I'll never understand it. There are things about reselling that I will never understand. And what I mean is, this sold for $29.99. There were other lightsabers listed, this exact lightsaber, exact barcode and everything, for a little bit cheaper, some with free shipping. Mine is the one that sold. I don't know why the other ones didn't sell first, and this one didn't even sell via promoted listing. So I don't really get it, but I'm thankful. And I made a net profit of $24.36 on that. And like I said, it just sold so fast. I don't like to sell hard goods, but when they're in their original box, it does make it a lot easier because looking up comps is easier, and you can just literally scan the barcode. It'll pull up everything else that has that same barcode, and you can use sell similar on eBay on a listing that's not yours to, spit out a listing that you can use with all of the information from someone else's listing. You have to put in your own pictures, but it is a huge time saver, and that's the only reason I was okay, fine, I'll go ahead and list these. It's not the only toy that I got at the garage sale. There's one that did sell in the following week of sales, so make sure you're subscribed if you want to see what it is. But that toy sold for over $100. So definitely come back for next week's What Sold video to see what that was. On Saturday, which was August 5th, on Poshmark, I sold this Talbot's multicolor plaid belted shirt dress in a women's size medium. It did have kind of the tab sleeves. I love selling Talbots. I loved this dress. I thought it was so classic, just perfect for the workplace. And so it was a no-brainer to me when it came to picking it up. I got it at that consignment store at the birthday sale, so I had $4.55 into it. It sold for $25 on Poshmark. I made a net profit of $15.45. The next sale on Poshmark was this pair of Levi's 501 light wash straight leg button fly jeans in a size 31 by 34. These were flawed. They had like some grass stains, I want to say, on the knee, just like a lot of little stains and stuff. But I think a lot of people who want these kinds of Levi's jeans, they just want them to work in. Like they want to wear them to work on their car in, or if they do lawn work, for stuff like that. And they're okay that they're flawed as long as they're still in good shape. And these were, like, they had a lot of wear left to them, but they just had some exterior flaws. And therefore, I let go of them for pretty cheap. I let go of them for $12. I only had $1.50 into them from the garage sale earlier this summer that I went to. And so I made a net profit of $7.55. At this particular garage sale, I think I picked up 15 to 20 pairs of men's pants. The majority of them jeans. A lot of them were like Carhartt black pants that you would like work in. And a lot of that stuff has been selling through. Maybe not the craziest profit, but I only had $1.50 into each item. The next thing to sell was over on eBay. It was by the brand Tail, which I didn't really know very much about. I don't think I'd ever heard of, but I got it at that consignment store for $4.55 for their birthday sale. And I did look up comps on this one, I think, and I was pleasantly surprised. And so I went ahead and picked it up. It was this blue floral lined athletic skirt or skort. It had, like the little shorts underneath, and it was in a size large. I put words like tennis and golf in the listing title because this skirt is absolutely appropriate for those kinds of outdoor sports. And it's sold for my full asking price of $34.99. It was promoted at 3% and it sold in under 2 weeks. So I'm definitely going to be on the lookout for this brand. I think this is my first time selling it, and it didn't look like anything super special. I just kind of felt like maybe this would be something, and that's why I picked it up. And I made a net profit of $23.87 on that skirt. The next thing to sell was this pair of Newport blue tropical print pull-on swim trunks in a men's size large. Those sold for my full asking price of $17.99, but I've had them listed for like over 2 years. Those were part of that same reseller buyout that I've been talking about. So I only had $1.02 into them. And 2 years later, I made a net profit of $15.04. And I did have to relist those a number of times, both on eBay and Poshmark. But it did finally lead to its sale. And then on Depop, I sold this Christopher Banks red open knit cardigan sweater in a size large. I did put the word Y2K in the title because I felt like it had those kinds of vibes. So I'm not surprised that this sold on Depop for $20. That was with me paying for shipping. I had $2 into the item from, I don't remember where. I think it was from a different reseller buyout. I think I've had this listed for at least 6 months, I want to say, and I made a net profit of $8.67. This is not the type of thing that I would pick up at the thrift store, even though, like I said, I think it's perfect for Depop and that sort of thing, but I wouldn't pick it up because I would know in the back of my mind that I wouldn't be able to make the kind of profit that I'm looking to make, but because it was sent to my house, I want to say like ThredUp or maybe a reseller buyout, but because it was sent to my house, that's why I went ahead and listed it, knowing that there was some value, just not the kind of value that I'm looking for when I'm sourcing items. And then on Sunday, which was August 6th, on Poshmark, I sold this pair of new with tags American Eagle black stacked skinny next level flex jeans in a men's size 29 by 32. So I got these at the beginning of the summer, maybe it was late spring. It was at the same consignment store that I keep talking about, but the other location. So the other location's birthday sale. And how they run the sale is if you go on the first day, the shopping bag, and it's like a normal little shopping bag, like what you get at the grocery store. If you fill a bag, that bag will cost you $30. And it's that price for the whole weekend, I believe. However, if you go back on Monday, that bag will now cost $25, and on Tuesday it'll cost $20, and on Wednesday it'll cost $15. So this birthday sale at the beginning of the summer, I went on the first day, got a ton of great stuff, but I went back the Wednesday after because I had time to kill after work. I went back and did some more shopping. This particular pair of jeans I remember seeing on the first day and being like, okay, I don't think it's worth however much I'll have to pay for it right now, but if it's here on, a different day, I'll get them. So it was still there on Wednesday. I went ahead and got them. And the reason why I didn't want to get them the first day is because I felt like this piece had a lot of strikes against it. It was new with tags, which is great, but it was skinny jeans and like really skinny, which I feel like is not as popular anymore, even amongst guys. And it was such a smaller size. It was a size 29. And so I was like, if it's still here when I come back, back, I'll get them. I'm going to pass on them for now. They were there, so my cost of goods that day for each item was only $1.11 because I was paying $15 for the bag. And I did stock up on a lot of like, bread and butter brands like Chico's and Talbot's, White House, Black Market, that sort of thing. And I got a lot of American Eagle that day because I wasn't going to be paying very much for them. They sold for $26 and my net profit was $19.69. On eBay, I sold this pair of Cat and Jack skinny jeans with an adjustable waist in a youth size 7. My daughter did wear those, but she obviously is not wearing those anymore because she's too big for them. I lost money on this sale as well because I did have these on auction with a starting bid of $1.99. They got the one bid, but I did not charge enough for shipping. And so once I, paid for shipping and realized that I had to pay a little bit more than what they had paid me to ship them out, I lost $1.14. And those I just put out to auction because I'm trying to move some of my lower priced items by putting them out to auction, and I'm starting the auctions really low. So if you want a really good deal, check out my eBay store because I do have auctions running every Sunday just to kind of move stuff. And I feel like it's working. I feel like every week I am getting, 2 to 3 sales because of auctions. And I'm okay with that, especially because it's older items that I just want to move. The next sale was another eBay auction item. It was this Anthropologie maple 100% silk dress. It had like a fern print and it was like a faux wrap dress. It had puff sleeves and it was in a size extra small. To be honest, this one I probably could have waited. I didn't have to put it out to auction, but maple is an older Anthropologie brand. And I think this had been listed for close to a year with very little action, very few likes, very few people watching it, if any. And that's why I was like, I'm just going to go ahead and put it on auction. So I had my starting bid at $4.99. It did get the one bid. I had $3.92 into this from a reseller buyout. And so I made a net profit of $1.21. It's not the killing that we're looking for. But, there's the theory that if you run auctions, people will come visit your store, as the auctions are ending, as they're bidding on stuff, and they'll check out other things. And hopefully that activity boosts you in the eBay algorithm. I don't know if it's like for real or not, but it's not hurting, I don't think. And then on Mercari, I sold this Johnson Motors Inc. red t-shirt and it had like this tattooed girl on the front. It was a short sleeve t-shirt in a women's size large. I didn't know anything about this, but I got it from a coworker of mine, and she is my first official consignment client. And so anything that sells and gives me less than a $25 profit, I'm giving her 40% of the profit. Anything that sells and gives me at least a $25 profit, I am giving her 50%. And so this sold for $21. After Mercari's fees, I was left with a $17.65 profit, which is less than the $25. So I gave her 40%. I'm saying my cost of goods, as in her payout, is $7.06, and I get to pocket $10.59. That sold pretty quick. I had no idea what this brand was. There were no exact comps for this exact brand, so I don't know. I think maybe it was kind of like a boutique item. Maybe it was merch at like a store or something. I thought it was a cool piece, which is why I went ahead and listed it. But I guess if you come across the same exact shirt, it did sell very quick, whatever that's worth to you. So let's talk about my numbers for the week. On Poshmark, I sold 13 items, and that was for a gross sales amount of $276. That goes down to $206.25 once you factor in Poshmark's fees and any discounted shipping that I may have offered. I had $52.52 into those 13 items, and so my net profit for the week on Poshmark was $153.73. On eBay, I just did so well, and it's because I had a lot of like just higher price items sell. I sold 14 items for a gross sales amount of $418.72. Once you factor in eBay's fees, that total drops to $339.24. I only had $30.66 into my eBay items, and so my net profit on eBay for the week was $308.58. I had one depop sale for a gross sales amount of $20. Once you factor in fees and the fact that I paid for shipping, that total drops to $10.67. I had $2 into the item, so my net profit on Depop was $8.67. On Mercari, I sold one item. Once you factor in Mercari's fees, that total dropped to $17.65. I had $7.06 into that item. That was my payout to my consignor, and so my net profit was $10.59. And so in total, I sold 27, 28, 29 items for the week for a gross sales amount of $735.72. Once you factor in fees and any shipping that I may have had to pay for, that total drops to $573.77. I had $92.24 into those items, and so my net profit for the week was $481.53, which is not awful, but it is better than what weeks were looking like in the summer, so I am thankful. I feel like August has been pretty good. This week that I'm in right now seems to be kind of slow. I don't know what's going on, but you know what? I'm just thankful for whatever sales come my way. So I hope sales are picking up for you. I hope that summer slowdown is now a thing of the past. And yeah, thank you so much for hanging out with me, for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to hit that like button on your way out. But I will see you guys in the next one. Bye!